Okay, now we want to beginning with the lesson 1. Lesson 1 is introduction of Deming cycle or PDCA. Before we know about the Deming cycle, I think that first we should be talking about who we thinking about or invent about this first. Okay, when we calling about Deming cycle PDCA, is a concept of working development for controlling work quality leading to the continuous developments. This concept was derived from the idea of Walter Shewhart. He is a statistician in a Dutch industrial field. Afterward, this concept was more well known when W. Edward Deming, just as you know that the Deming cycle, right? He have to continue the idea from Mr. Shewhart. He is Edward Deming. And he became a quality executive who present and publicize this concept as a tool for working procedure improvement among factory employees. This tool encourages employees to find out problems and obstacles while they are working. Later, this concept is named as PDCA cycle or Deming cycle. And then when we talk about the PDCA Deming cycle consists of 4 compositions as follows. The first is planning. The second, executing the task as planned. The third is reviewing and monitoring the working performance. The fourth is improving the working process. For planning stands for to planning. Planning is the method of defining goals and objectives, identifying the working process to achieve indicated goals and objectives, as well as problem solving. Planning may include goal setting or objective setting and prioritizing to define goals. Moreover, implementation method, time frame, responsible person, agenda, and budget must be considered. The writing of plan can be adjustable to suit the implementation method. Planning helps the anticipation of futures and upcoming incidents. Planning also supports risk management. The objective, identify the working plan carefully. The second is defining clear goals, objectives, and time frame. The third is design the working process and method. The fourth is assign the responsible person. The fifth is estimate the budget. And the sixth is define the standard criteria of working method. The process of planning, we should begin by defining the clear tasks first. And then the next step is defining clear goals and objectives. And the third is define the clear working process to achieve goals and objectives as indicated. And for the characteristic of the good planning, you should know the first thing is realistic. Realistic means that when you want to begin something, planning something, you should concern about the possibility of doing. Okay, maybe you can have the imagine or you can have the creative, but don't forget that the thing that you should be, you want to create, you want to do that, it is possible to happen or not. The second is understandable. It's really important that you need to communicate about the clear point, about the contents of the plan to your teammate, to your team, to your colleagues. And the third is measurable. How can you know this project, this plan will be success or not? So you should know how to access it. You should know how to find the standard measure to access your success, your result, your performance. The fourth is behavioral. It should be easy to do that. It should be put it into action. Should clear dimension about how to act as a plan when you have to plan this project. Okay, and the last is achievable. The achievable is about the project. It should be the plan. It should be know how to achieve that. The goal is to not to be very difficult and should not to be so easy. It should be challenge to you, to your team. This is a characteristic of the good planning. Okay, I will beginning with the next step is do. Do is referred to for doing or implementing. Doing is the method of implementation according to the defined plan. Doing may include task, implementation, responsible person, and implementation method. And for C is check. Checks refer to checking or verifying or monitoring. Checking is the method of evaluating the working performance and studying problem if occurring during the implementation period. Then, in order to facilitate an effective working process to achieve defined goals and objectives. The proper evaluation method, which involves suitable key performance indicators, must be considered. As we want to see in the flow chart, this you will see that evaluation is not only the process that happen occur in the last step or at the end of the project, but evaluation is a thing that should be occur in all of the process. For the first is evaluation of plan. You should have to design how to evaluation, how about your plan, and when you want to do that in each process, how can you design the evaluation method in each process. For the evaluation of plan, the next you should evaluation of working process too, and then next you should evaluation of working performance, and then you analyze the current working situation comparing to the defining work plan. It means that when you have a goal, you have a plan to do that. You have to setting your goal, setting your expectation. So when the thing that happen when you implementing, you should know that how is different or same as your expectation or not. And if you can deal with your goal, you should know that why you can do that. It will be where is your state point, and you will have any suggestion for the next time if you want to do it again. Or if it different from the expectation, what happened, you should find out and you should have the lesson learned from this. And then when you implement it again, you want to do it again, you will have the different solution and the suggestion to improving for the further project. For acting, act refer to taking action towards to the incident of improving an incident. Acting is the method of improving the related factors after appraising the working performance or analyzing the problem. Acting may include, the first is a contingency plan for further improvement in order to reduce the repetition of the same problem or to avoid the unpleasant situation of making mistake. The second thing is an urgent action to improve the current situation of finding the solution to solve the current problem. The development and improvement consists of, the first thing is improve the system. The second thing is improve the working method. And the third thing is develop the task. For advantage of PDCA, so we have to learn what PDCA can be give the positive result for you, for your work, for your project. The first is the PDCA provide continuous improvement systematically. And then next is achieve the goal and objectives as planned. PDCA can increase productivity, and it can decrease energy and time consumption. It can enhance leadership skill. It can enhance self-development. It can provide satisfaction to service receiver and community. It can economize the budget and control expenditures. It can be able to handle unexpected or unpleasant situations promptly. Provide knowledge sharing, experience, and problem-solving skills. It can create innovation from new improvement continuously. It can uplift working performance to the standard of excellence. Now we are coming to the lesson 2, the factors to be considered before organizing project, or 4Ms. Now before you beginning for your project, I think that you should have the key to concern about how can we process organizing the project effectively. So I introduce you to know about the 4Ms, as consists of the first M. First M is man, and the second M is money. The next M is the material, and the last M is the management. For the man, we refer to the employee, worker, personnel of internal and external organization. Man is the most important principal resource in our organization because our productivity and management depends on man in terms of planning, implementation, and the administration of business activity or service provider in all forms. Human resource development is the most necessary composition leading to organization success. So you can see that when we're talking about the man, we focus on this point. This M is very important point, very important M. But we cannot forget that we also have the another M that also important too. For another M is about the money. The money is referred to the fund or financial assets which is utilized is an administration and operation. In terms of business, fund is the most important resource because all business activities cannot be performed successfully without funding. Fund can lead the good flow of business. All expenditure depend on the wise management of fund. For material refers to supply, raw material, machinery, products, service, or other related equipment which will be used to manufacture the product or to provide the service. And effective raw material management includes the sufficient storage of raw material and low manufacturing cost to maximize the profit. And the management is regarded as an important mechanism to the control and support for the 3Ms effectively and successfully. Now we're going to lesson 3, the writing of project proposal and evaluation method. Okay, before you going to do the document template, I want to introduce you to know about the website. That's very important for all the student activity unit that you should access for to do many things in that very useful for your work. And you need to know about the document template, and this lesson will introduce you to know this website. We call that activity4u.au.edu. And when you coming here, you will see we have the many menu, and the menu that I want to suggest you for this part is service. And you will have the form download. When you see the form download, we have many forms for you to download. And for this part is we will talking about the project proposal. You see that we have the document number 3 that you can download. Okay. Before that, when you download this document, you will see that we have the many parts, many details. So I will let you know about the details in the project proposal. The first is activity unit name. The second is the project name. The next detail is about the project director names, the nature of the project, the type of the project, the objectives, the key performance indicators. This is a very important point, and I will let you know next. The target group, the time frame, the venue, the implementation method, the expected outcomes. Okay, before you know, I just want you to see that the next part is a project proposal. When you're writing a project, you should know that we have the activity unit names. Maybe somebody will, I just want you to clear about your activity unit name, because of, and you make sure that you know the full name or the correct name, the correct official names of your activity unit, and put it in this. Because of sometimes somebody there in the same activity unit, but when the different project, they might be have writing something wrong about the name, just a little bit mistake, but it should be concerned. For the project activity name, okay, maybe we easy for you that you maybe have some project that do every year. You don't think about this too much. But if there's some project that you create the new, think about that. Try to concern that not too long names. You should be make sure that the name should be stand for the action, stand for, it should be refer to what is about the content of the project that you want to do. It should be, maybe it should brief, short, clear, not too long, and easy to understand. Okay, and maybe the name it should be go to the point of the project content. And the project name, it should be just a project director. It's only the name of your personal information about the name and the surname, and the ID numbers, and the contact number by telephone. And the nature of the project. Okay, when you have to do your OYPB or 1-year plan budget, you need to list out of the project, all the project that you need to do in the academic year, right? But that, if you want to do that project, you can tick on the plan project. But if in that year you want to create something that new and they don't put it in the yearly plan. So I think that you need to put it into the unplanned project. That is the difference between the nature of project. Okay. And about the type of project, we have the 9 types of project. But for the first 3 that I stated for in this slide, because of you will see that we will write it ideal graduate activity. Because of these 3 things, it come from the first T type is come from the identity and the uniqueness of the university that we call 3 E's. The 3 E's consists of the English proficiency, entrepreneurial spirit, and ethics. For English proficiency, as you know that the ideal graduate is come from the character, the ideal character that university want to form for the student when you graduate. The first thing is about the English proficiency, that the university expect that you should be, all the students should be, all the graduate students should be the fluent in your English. You should know how to communicate effectively with the international. Okay, and the entrepreneurial spirit, we focus on the 3 points about the leadership, about the management knowledge, and about as our university motto, what we call labor omnia vincit. Okay, that work hard it conquer all. And for the ethic, when we talking about the ethic in the perspective of Assumption University, we're talking about the integrity, we're talking about the social consciousness, and we also talking about the discipline. And now for the next is that we have another 4 for the 4th type of project. This is academic activity. The 5th is the sport and health activities. The 6th is social benefit for environment activity. And the 7th is art and culture. As you see that these four types of the project will be related to the Student Affairs Standard Criteria 1998. There are 5 categories of the student development activity related to the quality assurance which facilitates self-development and student development as shown below. That we have academic, sport or health activities, we have moral and ethic development activity, we have activity for social benefits or environmental, and art and culture. You will see that we also relate to the same, these 4 type of project of student activity. And the next is the recreation activity, and the last is the procurement. Okay, when before into writing a project, you should have to mention about the project objective. Okay, for the project objective, this are necessary to be defined for all projects in order to be a direction of the project implementation. Objectives are statements indicating the design to accomplish the projects. Those statements need to be clear, reachable, and measurable. More than one objective can be applied for each project. Characteristics of the objective depends on the size of the project, as I show in the following example. For the example, I bring this example, this objective from the project induction camp. I think that you all know about the induction camp, right? And maybe if you see this example, it might be same or different with your project. Okay, for this example, this is the objective from induction camp that I will give you to the example. The first is to publicize the student activity unit information to freshmen and new member. You see that this objective is clarified, very clear about the target group. Okay, the second objective for this example, you said that to provide knowledge in terms of teaching towards project management and other related topics which will be conducted for incoming academic year by organizing training or workshop to a group or new committee member. And this objective is maybe related quite, maybe you know about the camp of training and forming committee. You will see that this is very clear about we can define that about the knowledge, which knowledge that they want to teach. Okay, they say that provide knowledge about the project management. Okay, that very clear about point. And to promote and disseminate art and culture activity for international students. Okay, you will see that they said that about the point of learning art and culture activity, and you can see that they refer very clear target about the international student, right? Okay, And now really important point, another thing is about the key important indicators or KPIs, or we can say the achievement indicators or AIs. Okay, what is the KPI? The KPI is or AIs, achievement indicators, is a tool to measure or assess working performance in different aspects. It can be presented in terms of quantitative data or reflects working efficiency and effectiveness. Why a KPI is important? KPI or AI is an index to specify the success of work, which can be presented by the unit or numerical measurement. For previously, working performance appraisal will be considered in terms of employee working habits. On the other hand, currently KPI or AI is placed as a tool to measure or appraise working performance, including in the balance scorecard of BSC, a key success model making balance among organizational aspects. For the concept and theory of defining KPIs or AIs, including the following characteristics. The first characteristic is about the KPIs must be measurable. Okay, it should be able to be accessed. Okay, for the KPIs must indicate effectiveness. Okay, and also it must be indicate efficiency. And for the next characteristic, the KPIs must be communicated among organizational personnel. It should be let all of the part of the organization know which KPI that we should be used for access the result or the performance. There must be a responsible person to lead the directions of success. There must be KPIs revisions and development based on PDCA cycle periodically. And the last is KPIs must be aligned with organization policy, goal, vision, and motto. For the examples of the key performance indicators or KPIs or achievement indicator, it consists of the coverage. What is the coverage? For the example, the coverage is the number. You can see that by the number. For the example, is the number of the participants. Maybe you can write it in terms of number of participants is not less than 80% of target group. Maybe if you have the target group 50%, it maybe you should be achieve for 40%. It could be okay. We are achieve the coverage. Okay, for this KPI. And about the satisfaction survey, this is the level we use by the 5-point scale of the level of participant satisfaction. Maybe you can check from the level of participant satisfaction toward the arrangement of the program. Normally they will use the number of 3.51 from the 5-point scale. And the next is the learning assessment, also the same scale, same number with the satisfaction, but this level of the learning assessment is quite different. It's about when they said that level of participant incremental knowledge on program is at least 3.51 from the 5-point scale. We maybe use when you say that incremental knowledge means that you should be comparing about the P or post for the post that result that we gain from the participant when they have to attend with your project. Okay, we will compare the result before and after they attend will be different or not. And for the percentage of the participant who passing the criteria standard of learning is not less than 80% of target group. This is also the same. But now the learning assessment in this point, they will not check about the scoring, the knowledge, but they want to check about the amount of the participant who can pass the criteria. Okay, and after we also have a lot of criteria, a lot of KPI that we use. For example, we have the achievement, due days, class done. Okay, good KPI. How can we call good in KPIs? So it should be think about the SMART. We're talking the SMART idea, the SMART concept. SMART consists of S, M, A, R, T. This alphabet we have the different stand for many different characters. For the first S, it stands for the specific. The KPI should be specific. The M, next alphabet, is talking about the measurable. The A, achievable. R, realistic, and T, time frame. Okay, for the recommendation to define the KPI. The KPI should be clear and easy to understand. There should not be too many KPI when you use in a project. You should find out forecast. You should use the KPI that suitable, most suitable with your project, and it can be effectively for your performance. KPI should be aligned with the vision, mission, and strategy. KPI should be possible and variable. KPI should convey the meaning of organization goals to develop level and personal level. KPI should encourage the fast to response process, follow-up process, and result presentation process. KPI can be compared, evaluated. KPI can be adjustable. Next, we are going to learn about the example. I think I want you to see this very good example for the project proposal information. They can give you very clear information and really relate to all of the point that I refer to you for the last part. Okay, you can start with for that. And next thing is about very important point also is about the budget. The budget detail is now we begin from the budget with the revenue first, because you can see that you need to estimate for the budget that you want to do the project first, right? But now I want you to see that how can we defining and segment for the revenue. How can we write that? What information that we should be fill in this form? Okay. For the first part of the revenue, we can see that we will have the estimate budget detail of the revenue, and we will see that the first part is about the participant support. It's really easy that you should be defined clearly about who is the participant. We will define that you see that participants will be number of the participant, and be multiplied by the numbers of the amount of the registration fee that you need to indicate for the participant. And for next is the receipt from the member. You will see that the member, we have many field for you to fulfill that, because of we have the many target, many group of the member, such as maybe you have committee, maybe you have staff, maybe you have senior that maybe the senior that they still study in the university, or some over that they graduated already. Okay, they might have the different rate of the registration fee, and you will see that we maybe gain in the difference amount from this different group. So you should estimate this group carefully about this point. Student organization support, you can see that when the student organization, they have the criteria to allocate the budget for you. You just write only the lump sum amount requesting from the user support. Okay, it will be the same amount after summarizing all expense. The next is sales income. Okay, maybe if you have to find the raising fund from the other part, maybe you might be asking, you maybe sell something to raising your fund by yourself. Maybe you should, you can see that you should be define it clearly in this point about, okay, maybe you fundraising from shirt, fundraising from notebook, fundraising from hats. It depends on your idea. How can you find the fundraising from this point? And the sponsor support, you can see that when you're asking the support from the sponsor, you need to define in this point clearly. You should be list the name of the sponsor and about the amount of the money in here. Okay. But in case of if you don't gain it in terms of the cash, maybe you might be gain only in terms of cash or product. Just you don't need to put it in here. Okay. And for the other income, maybe it's another thing is like a kind of, for this example, you see the form family, okay, but you maybe think that don't have somebody, they have to like this, their own family help them, okay. Another thing is about the estimate budget, about the expense. You can see that we have the type of expense, or the 11 types of expense. As you see that we have the accommodation, seminar room, we have food and beverage, we have transportation, we have survey, we have promotion, document, equipment, supply, remuneration, medicine, miscellaneous. Okay, you will see that the last field, the blank field that we give to you, that you will write this point, you will write the lump sum amount for requesting from the USO support, same amount after summarizing all expense. Okay, at the blank field that you see the last point. And for the details of expense, you will see that in the detail of the expense, I will have to explain more about the accommodation, seminar room, and fee. Okay, you see that the student organization, where we have to indicate and they will have to announce about the budget allocation criteria. That will be different in every year. But for this example, I will let you see that how can they, this might be the example for this year. Maybe you can see that 450 baht and multiple with 2 nights, multiple with a person, and you can be included. Total will be the number that we appear in here. Okay, and also the same as the revenue. When you gain the different, you maybe have the different expense for the different target group. Okay, and some of the accommodation and seminar room may be including about the meeting room also. If you, in case that you need to use the meeting room for your seminar or for your project. Okay, and also for the food and beverage, we have the rate for you, and you can see that how can we calculate for you and totally the number for you. Such as you will see that we have the meal, we have the snack, okay, and now we also have the barbecue. And for the bus, we also have the many kinds of the transportation that you use in your project. Maybe it depends on the amount of the participant in each project. Okay, maybe you can use the bus. Also, they also have the rate for the bus that also support. And you maybe use the van, and they also give you about the tollways, the expressway fee for you. Also will be included for this expense. Okay, and we have the information from the last year. But don't forget that maybe the price, the rate is maybe changed. You think about that before you estimate, and you put it in the proposal. The gasoline too, the tollways. For the survey, you just define that the gasoline that you think that maybe if you want to go to many provinces to survey, you maybe think about, or you want to rent a van, and so you don't need to use this category. For the promotion, you should also think about the poster or any kinds of the media that you want to use. Is it have the cost or not? If it has a cost, you think about that. For this example, they use the promotion by poster. So they define 10 sheets. Each sheet is 30 baht, so they can get the number. Document also, they use a paper for A4. And they use a print poster because of sometimes. But this service we will provide by USO also. You can check from the USO. We have service for the print, even color print and the print for document. But for document, if you do not use the color, it's free for you. But you should bring your own paper and contact to the USO. Okay, and for the shirt, even you want to use the equipment, and maybe you have the shirt to using, and you give it to the participant, you should be fill in this part equipment. Or maybe the other thing that you use for the equipment, when you buy it, after you finish for use it, you can keep it. We can call that equipment. And for the next is the supply. Supply is like a thing of that maybe when you buy it and you use it, it might be invisible and it might be empty, and we should be buy it again. We cannot be usable. Next is remuneration. Remuneration, we have many kinds of remuneration. When you have to organize the training or seminar, you need to invite in some guest speaker. and so you need to have to give them some the remuneration for them, and then you also will be have to provide for you support for you. But you don't forget that if you have the guest speaker or you have the coach, don't forget to attach the portfolio or the resume of that guest speaker to also for consider the rate of the remuneration for you. And also for some of the sport activity that maybe have to hiring or have the give the remuneration for the coach. You also have to should define to make clear about how many times that you want to use the coach for training you. Okay, so in this example they give you the time for you also. And medicine, you see that we have to define then about the medicine, the kind of medicine for using in the project in the program. So it will be good if you can define that. And another thing is about the miscellaneous. Miscellaneous is unexpected expense such as the postal delivery cost, medical expense, or something special medicine, or which is not including in the medical box or first aid box, and the loss expense in case of the unintentionally damaged charge. This is a miscellaneous. Okay, another another thing is should be to completing about the information of your project. You should be attached the appendix. You should be learn and should be concerned about the appendix. Any kinds of the document that relevant to the project, you should be attached with the project proposal, such as the agenda, the map, the workshop work rally details, the guest speaker profile, the rules and regulation of your camp, your project, and etc. etc. Okay, after you finish form your project proposal document, you will have the information that you fill in the proposal already. The next step is very important also is you need to access to the website. The website is activity4u.au.edu, and then you go to the menu of the service and you will got the online project. When you go to the online project menu, you will see that we have the different menu. The first menu is about student organization or USO, and next is the student activity unit. You click it to the student activity unit, and we have the link for you to access to filling for the username and the password, and you fill this username and the password, and you when click that you will go to the online project. In online project, if they had any inconvenience of internet connection during an online process, please contact your advisor or contact Center for Student Leadership and Experiential Learning as the calling number mentioned in this slide. But you see that we have to fill when you go to the online project and the menu like this appear. The first thing you just click to the add project. This is that when you click the add project, it means that you will create the new project. When you create the new project, we will have the field for you to fill the information in this form, same as the document that you used in the project proposal. Lesson 4, we're talking about the writings of the project evaluation report. Okay, why evaluation project is important? So when we talking about it, you should check if all objectives have been achieved based on KPI. For this evaluation, it should be help you to do this. Check if all objectives have been achieved based on KPI. And the second thing is compare output and outcome with input efficiency of resources utilization. And the last thing is about the obtain information for improving. That's why the evaluation is so important. The project for the step of project evaluation, we evaluate the project, the projective, the objective, and expected outcome in the planning stage. That's why we should be define the clear objectives and what is the clear expected outcome before you doing everything. Okay, for the step 2, define the key performance indicators or the KPIs in the step of the planning. You should be selected the suitable key information indicator that should be reflecting about your performance effectively. define evaluation process and tool. Okay, you think about it first, what kind of the evaluation process and tool that should be support for the key education, key performance indicator. And the step 4, you collect the data and conclude the evaluation while the implementation step is occur. Okay, and the step 5 is write an evaluation report after the implementation finished on the ending stage. And the step 6, all of the evaluation will be useful if you can use that. If you can use the lesson learned to be improving for your work. That's why the last step is talking about the capitalize the evaluation. Okay, when you start the new project, you use the lesson learned and the suggestion and the point that you gain, that you reflect from the last project to use for the new project again, and you will be got the different results. Okay, when you want to know about the template documents of the project evaluation report, you can go to the same website that, as I mentioned the last point, the last lesson. Okay, activity4u.au.edu, and then when you go to activity for you, you check this, we will see that the form download number 5, and you see that the name of the project report guideline. Okay, and then when you see I will give you some part of the project report guideline. You will see that we have project summary. You will summary about the executive brief. You will just explain the overview of the project. Okay, and you have to compare about the KPI that you have to set to expect and the target of your performance and what is the result of the realistic. Okay, maybe you should be collect the numbers of the participants and segment by the nationality or by the faculty, and you can see that later further in the document. For writing an evaluation report, maybe you can see that I can explain you from this side that, okay, the first thing is about the project summary. As I mentioned to you the first time, project summary is like you just explain the overview of the project, of the results that you gain from the operation, such as the project name, project detail, comparison of KPI, target and result, and target group summary. Also, the next part is target group summary. As you mentioned that on the first time, when you you segment your target into the many groups, such as the committee, staff, the senior, and the participant or the member. You will see that we will have to segment this number of the people by nationality, as we mentioned that Thai and non-Thai, and also we segment also by the faculty. Maybe some faculty is okay because you have only one faculty that will be your participant, but in some kind of activity units such as the club or sometimes the group, that they have to many of the students from many faculty to participate. That's why they need to define that how many students from each faculty to join in your project. And the third point of the evaluation report that you should concern is about the questionnaire summarized and analyzed. When you have to collect the evaluation process, you might be survey the feedback from the participant. It means that it's really important that you need to analyze that number, and that number will feedback to the point that really important for you to use it to improving your project. Okay, that's why we should be summarize the number, and it will be reflect about your performance too. Okay, for organizer evaluation and feedback, we not only evaluate only the participant, but we also evaluate about the organizer, the committee too, in terms of the learning. Okay, maybe as we said that when we have a plan, it means that what we have the question that will be want to feedback for the success of your performance. For this example, we will ask you, the first question is about what expect to happen. Will reflect to your goal or your expectation or your objectives. And the next question is what actually occur. It maybe will reflect to the implementation. Is align with the plan, with the goal or not. And okay, what went well and why? It will be okay if it can be aligned with the goal. It will be the implement is also the same as the plan that we have to do that. It will be good. But why it will be a success like this? But if it's not success like that, we want to know why it failed. Even we fail or success, all of this will be really values lesson learned for us. What can be improved and how? Okay, this is the point that we can gain the lesson learned, the point that we can gain the action plan for the next time that we want to make it better. And define all task, function, problem, the cause of the problem, the solution, and the suggestion is really important for the next generation to do this project again. So that's why I think that evaluation is really value for the not only for access the success, but also good thing for the guideline for the next generation to do this project again. Okay, the next part of the project evaluation is picture. We want to not too much picture, maybe only 6 to 10 pictures is okay. And the last thing is about the budget summary, the last step of the project. The budget summary, you should be try to show the advisors about the actual expense and revenue that you gain, okay? And then you need to total all of the things. And the really important point is about the evidence of expense, maybe the receipt or anything that can show can be the evidence that will be show us the budget, the expense that occur in this project. Okay. And the last step, project evaluation is online evaluation. Project evaluation online. Learner can download the guideline by visiting, and after that, when you go to log in again in the activity for you.au.edu in the online project. And online project, now you see the menu that you encounter that input evaluation, and that is you need to input all the evaluation. Yeah, and then you see that when you search, okay, sometimes when you go into input evaluation, you just search, no need to put any number or any name, any information. Just click into input evaluation, and we have the menu search for you, the button search for you to click that, and you choose the project number of the project that you need to evaluate. Okay. Please fill in all details in the space provided as illustrated in the pictures completely. If there is any inconvenience, same as the last time of the internet, you can contact to your advisor and contact to the Center for Student Leadership and Experiential Learning by calling 02-723-2222, extension 7292 or 3. For the last lesson, we're going to the last lesson in lesson 5, quality assurance with Deming cycle PDCA. So how could you define which project as the best quality project and what quality in student activities? So how can you know that your project is very good, your project are really success? Why you can know that? How can you know that? So that's why we should learn how to assess the quality of our student activity too. Okay, now I want to introduce you first about the part of the quality assurance. Okay, before I bring you to the quality assurance idea, I just want to introduce you about the educational quality assurance or TQS. Okay, the educational quality assurance is the task implementation systematically according to the defined plan leading to the reliability toward a quality standard criteria of system and manufacturing procedures as well as educational production. Educational quality assurance include the quality control, the quality auditing, the quality assessment. For the educational quality assessment assurance consists of the 3 procedures as following. The quality controls refer to the determinations of educational standard that align with the national education standard determined by the principal affiliation and institution Then the principal affiliation and institution will conduct a plan to be a guideline of quality development as the defined standard. There will be a working system and mechanism to follow up and monitor the working process intensely and continuously. The second is the quality audit, refer to the confirmation of the principal affiliation and institution toward a set of defined goals leading to the desired standard. Quality audit includes the first thing is institution self-checking and reviewing toward working implementation to compile data for continuous educational improvement and development. Checking and reviewing towards institutional education standard by the principal affiliation to promote, support, and utilize the strategy on educational standard promotion according to the defined educational standards. And the third is quality assessment, refer to an appraisal of standard level for the specific aspect. For example, educational standard, research standard, teaching standard, and etc. Self-study and self-assessment will be applied for an internal standard appraisal. Quality assurance objective, we have three objectives. The first objective is create stakeholder satisfaction and assurance. The second objective is create survival and sustainable growth under an intensity competitive environment. And the third is enhance personal quality of life. The necessity of the educational quality assurance. The first one, the world change rapidly affecting the human quality. That's why we need to have the quality assurance in education. The varieties of educational institution quality affecting the intense competition among institutions both in local and international. The third is it is mandatory to create an international knowledge management to be accepted among international organizations. It is a confirmation to community that institutions can produce quality graduates. It is beneficial to reveal information on quality assurance to learners, employers, parents, government, and many more. It is a principal requirement according to the national education. Benefits of quality assurance. We should be respond to the stakeholders' need, expectation, and satisfaction. That's why we should have the quality assurance. The second benefit is comply with standard and regulations of institution. The third benefit is align with the activity objectives. The fourth is uplift the activity efficiency and effectiveness. And the last benefit is develop continuous improvement for excellence. And who will get the benefits from the quality assurance? The student. You will have the very good quality and happy citizen having knowledge and employment. For the parent, get list of the trustworthy institution. For the employer, they get qualified, they get knowledgeable and moral personnel. It is a successful organization earning good profit. The employee is supported by standard academic resources. For the citizen, community, government, they get qualified human resources. And for the university, they get good reputation, they get long existence. For internal quality assurance, internal quality assurance refers to an internal performance appraisal, follow-up and checking for quality assurance of an educational institution by Deming cycle or PDCA. These procedures will be conducted by institution personnel and external specifying mentor assigned by Ministry of Higher Education, the Science, Research and Innovation or MHESI. The supervisions of MHESI consists of advising and monitoring as well as developing the composition, index and quality criteria. MHESI will assign some professors to be committee members of an internal quality assurance committee for institution. Each faculty has to conduct and internal education assurance annually. Why is internal quality assurance related to students? Internal quality assurance is important and necessary for student groups as a stakeholder of an education. They have to learn and understand about internal quality assurance in terms of concept, aspects, and content, including quality standard criteria. Students' role in quality assurance. For example, assemble for an establishment of organization, student club in order to create opportunity and network to be involved in a quality assurance activity. Okay, for the promote and support the quality assurance of faculty and university to enhance the university qualitative strength leading to the student benefits. And for the apply PDCA quality assurance cycle to develop learning activity or create the self-productive innovation. For the student is regarded as a direct beneficiary from quality assurance system. The more effectiveness of educational institution is the more benefit for students who receive educational service. Moreover, the higher level of assessment results, the more acceptable from external organization. So in conclusion, we see that not only the student or not only one that should be responsible or get the benefit from the quality assurance, but we need that all part of the student, of the stakeholder, they got the benefit, they got the impact from the quality assurance. So when you think about that, why we need to improving the qualities of the student activity of the education, because of that we cannot the world is changed so fast. That's why we need to think about this quality assurance. Okay, and then when we're talking about the PDCA, this is the circle that I want to mention to you, that I want to let you know that it's really important that we should be improved, we should be changed, we should be better by use this concept. Okay, think about plan, pre, do, check, and act, and don't forget that do it with the learning cycle and try to improve that. Don't make the same mistake, and we believe that the quality of the student activity will be better and better, and it will be impact to the next generation, not only you, and also for your student activity for the last long in the future. Thank you.